What's up, everyone? Welcome to the December 26th edition of the NBA Injury Report, brought to you by BetMGM. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. We have a 7-game NBA slate to look at tonight. Plenty of injury news to dive into. But first, click the link in the description below. Sign up and make a deposit at BetMGM. Place a real money wager of at least $10 and receive a risk-free first bet up to $1,000 on that initial wager. Take advantage of this offer by clicking the link in the description below. Now, starting with the Detroit Pistons, Marvin Bagley is questionable tonight. He's been the backup center behind Jalen Duren. If he is out, we could certainly see more playing time from Duren, who has rebounded at a very high level, especially since moving into the starting lineup. He's been a solid fantasy option. If Bagley is out, you could certainly see more playing time there. We probably would also see Nerlens Noel move into the rotation as the backup center. For the Clippers, John Wall has been downgraded to questionable. This could increase playing time for Reggie Jackson. We know that Kawhi Leonard is out tonight for the Clippers. If you take Wall out as well, it's likely that we see more minutes for Jackson. For Miami, Jimmy Butler is questionable. Bam Adebayo has already been ruled out, and Dwayne Dedmon is out as well. So we're going to have a messy situation at the center position for Miami. We are waiting to see who's going to start there. Udonis Haslem is questionable too. He did start the last time that Bam and Dedmon were out. But as far as Jimmy Butler goes, if he is out, you should get Max Strus back in the starting lineup. He should see increased playing time, as should Caleb Martin. We can certainly see more playing time from Victor Oladipo as well. And increased production will be on the table for Tyler Hero in particular, but also Kyle Lowry. For Minnesota, Kyle Anderson is questionable. He's missed their last several games, so we have a good idea of how this is going to go. Austin Rivers has been replacing him in the starting lineup. You're likely to get mid-30s in minutes from Rivers. He's not a very good fantasy option, but you also can see increased playing time from Jaden McDaniels. His price tag has risen a bit, but if he's going to play 34-plus minutes, there is the potential for him still to pay off the elevated salary. For the Chicago Bulls, Javonte Green is questionable. Normally, I wouldn't even mention somebody like Javonte Green, but for the Bulls, we are already missing Alex Caruso, and Derek Jones is doubtful. So if Green is out, you are pretty much guaranteed to get Andre Drummond playing the backup center minutes. But not only that, last game we actually saw Andre Drummond playing minutes alongside Nikola Vucevic. If Javonte Green is out, that could happen again. Doesn't have to. You could get more minutes from Kobe White, Goran Dragic. You could get Dallin Terry inserted into the rotation. So it doesn't have to happen. But if Javonte Green is in, you can be pretty confident that it's not going to happen. So Javonte Green's presence really just impacts how willing we should be to gamble on whatever combinations of Andre Drummond, Kobe White, and Goran Dragic. For Indiana, Aaron Nesmith and Jalen Smith are questionable. Benedict Mathurin started in place of Nesmith last game. He only played 19 or 20 minutes, but that was an anomaly. We shouldn't expect that again if he starts. He is cheap. He averages around 28 minutes per game off the bench. If he starts, we should expect at least that much playing time, but probably a couple of minutes more. We know that Mathurin is a good point per minute guy. His production should drop the more minutes he plays alongside Halliburton, but that can be offset by increased playing time. So that's who I would expect to benefit the most if he does start in place of Nesmith. As far as Jalen Smith goes, he's coming off of a big game. He's been used just solely as the backup center to Miles Turner. Turner was in foul trouble last game, so Jalen Smith played about 23 minutes. If he is out, it's likely that we see Isaiah Jackson return to his normal role, or his previous role, rather, as the backup center behind Turner. He hasn't been in the rotation much recently. And one other thing to mention, if Nesmith is out, you also certainly could see increased playing time from Oshae Brissett, who comes in at minimum salary on DraftKings. And for the New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson is doubtful. Dyson Daniels, Trey Murphy, and Larry Nance Jr. are all questionable. If Nance is out, we can once again expect a lot of playing time from Jonas Valanciunas. It makes Guillermo Hernan-Gomez an appealing tournament option as well, but keep in mind that in their last game without Zion and Nance, we did see Jackson Hayes play considerable minutes at center as well. There's a good chance we get a three-headed monster at the center position if Nance is out. If Murphy is out, you're opening up a lot of wing minutes for Najee Marshall in particular, but also potentially Dyson Daniels if he is able to go. If he's not able to go, then you should get a lot of minutes from Najee Marshall, potentially more minutes from Devontae Graham. Jose Alvarado should play more. So basically, the more guys that you take out of the New Orleans lineup or rotation, the more minutes that are available for these other sort of fringe backup plays. So to recap, the big pieces of injury news we are currently waiting on: Marvin Bagley, questionable for the Pistons; John Wall, questionable for the Clippers; Jimmy Butler, questionable for Miami, in addition to Udonis Haslem and Gabe Vincent; Kyle Anderson, questionable for Miami; Javonte Green, questionable for the Bulls; Aaron Neesmith and Jalen Smith are questionable for Indiana, and Dyson Daniels, Trey Murphy, and Larry Nance Jr. are all questionable for the Pelicans.